Now venerate the most noble, most splendid, immortal, and supremely powerful god! Zamasu!
Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and in this video here, it's time for the future, guys. We are going to be discussing how likely it is that we're going to get something future related in the 2024 Legends Festival. I know a lot of guys have been waiting for this one, man. This is going to be a video that a lot of people are catering towards. And honestly, with the most recent Zenkai, you guys will know Zenkai Zamasu, Red Zamasu. Future's for sure coming, but we're going to be listing all the probabilities, all the hints we've got so far, and how likely it is we would get XYZ units that could possibly drop from the future arc. I know there's a lot of die-hard dedicated future fans waiting for a new Goku Black, Zamasu, Trunks, maybe even Vegito Blue, which I hope they don't drop, but it's possible. So for this video, can we see if we can get 500 likes? If you're watching this right now, smash that like button. But yeah, man, that's all I've got to say. Let's get into this. Alright, let's start with the newest and the biggest piece of information that we've got so far. The Zenkai of the Red Zamasu. This Red Zamasu, I believe he's one of the earliest units to have endurance in this game, and boy, in his prime he was a problem, unkillable as hell. But that was a very long time ago, and most of you guys will not remember that. But for the guys that do remember that, know that he was a problem back then. But to make him useful as a Zenkai, it's gonna be damn near impossible, I'm not gonna lie. Outside of that, the simple fact that he's Zenkaiing points to two things at the bare minimum, maybe three. One, he's obviously from the future arc, and the future arc is the main thing that people are pushing for this festival. It's looking like it's very likely at this point. Two, he's God Key. God Key is a very popular tag. They don't have much or get a lot. At least this year, I don't think they have. They have got a few things, but when it's a few things, are they good things? That's another question, but hey, Zamasu is God Key. And three, he's a powerful opponent. Powerful opponents have been being pushed consistently this whole year. It's a very big tag. It's thriving a lot, so you should expect big things out of them. But of course, I think the main thing out of all of those three is obviously the future tag. There's not much to say. This guy is literally the main antagonist of the future arc. Whether you want to say it's Goku Black, but Goku Black is Zamasu. Whether you want to say it's Fusion Zamasu, but Fusion Zamasu is Zamasu. Corrupted Zamasu is Zamasu. Either way you want to phrase it, Zamasu is the main antagonist of the future arc. Just want to put out on the day I'm recording this, it's the 12th of November, so it's not Wednesday, and there hasn't been more than 2 Ultra reruns recently since they've announced the Festival 2024. I want to put out that they reran 2 Ultras, and these Ultras can both link to a possible unit that could drop from the future arc. So first, they reran Ultra Vegito Blue. Biggest thing to come out of the future arc, I'm not going to lie. The return of Vegito, Ultra Vegito Blue, was a big deal in the 5th anniversary. This guy was an absolute monster, but enough with the blast from the past. The main thing is that Vegito Blue is a future unit, so that hints to the likeliness of future. But then on the other side, we got powerful opponent unit Ultra Hit. Now the main thing you can grab from that is a powerful opponent, so if you make both of them together, we've got a future unit, a God Key unit, Vegito Blue. Then on the other side, we just got a powerful opponent, Ultra Hit, and both of those have correlations with Zamasu in some way, shape, or form. Corrupted Zamasu, Fusion Zamasu, whichever one you want to go for. Even Goku Black Rose. But yeah, those two pretty much speak for themselves. You've probably seen people draw in correlations based on those factors. And just this quick small segment, tying in literally everything we've got on that Wednesday update, so it would have been a week ago from when I'm recording this. I spoke about the Ultra Hit return, I spoke about the Vegito Blue return, but they also dropped a free-to-play Sin Shenron. Sin Shenron's a powerful opponent, which also pushes the idea for powerful opponents in the first part of the Legends Festival. It's not much to talk about, but putting it all together, it can somehow tie into a Fusion Zamasu if you want to pull the strings that way. Depends on your agenda, depends on what you believe in, but the main thing to point out is that it's not literally a stretch. It's not far-fetched, it's something pretty reasonable. Now this one, at first, it was looking like people were really reaching, but now it's looking really possible that this was a genuine hint. So if we look at the trailers that they dropped for the Legends Festival, we saw they had a certain color scheme in the trailer. So there was 2 points where certain text came on the screen, and I'm going to read out what they say, then I'm obviously going to show what they would obviously relate to. So when the trailer is playing, there's one part where it says the Legends Festival is coming back. Then later on it says the countdown has begun. Now if you look at the color schemes of both of those texts, the Legends Festival is coming back is pink, and and then the countdown has begun is more of a purplish bluish color. Now, depending on how you want to see it, people have been relating that to Zamasu and Goku Black before they fused. So it would be Zamasu referring to the bluish purple, referring to his eye color and the clothing, and then we've got the pink for obviously Goku Black Rose because of his pink hair. You can also tie that into the color of their auras. The bluish purple is more so for Zamasu, and the pink obviously still stays with Rose. I think the color for Rose is very evident, but with Zamasu it's kind of stretching that way. You're kind of like forcing it to align. But now that we've got the Zenkai Red Zamasu, honestly this doesn't seem far-fetched, so I'm bringing you guys that information. Now this is going to be the last thing, but at the end of the trailer there's 2 orbs of color. Now this one is kind of far-fetched, but again, with the Zenkai Red Zamasu, it's looking very possible that we're gonna get future for sure. So similar to what I referenced prior to this, it was to do with the purple bluish and the pink. At the end of the trailer there is also a purple and blue behind the Dragon Ball Legends logo. So the purple could easily relate to Fusion Zamasu, and if they decide to follow the scheme of the 6th anniversary, we would get 2 synchro units for the first part of the festival 2024. With this I'm implying Fusion Zamasu, so it would be Goku Black and Zamasu that fuse into Fusion Zamasu as a synchro unit, and then the other side would be a synchro Vegito Blue. We'd get a Goku and Vegeta that obviously fuse into Vegito Blue. Now I'm very much against a Vegito Blue. The Fusion Zamasu aspect I can see, but it's not unreasonable at this point for them to drop a Vegito Blue as well, because he would definitely sell, and he ties in perfectly with the fact that they would do a future part 1. Now one thing I do want to point out is that whenever they do a part 1, they never do 2 things from the same saga. So if we just look at last year, we had Evil Ken and Beast Gohan. Previous year to that we'd had Blue Bros and Sword of Hulk Trunks. I think the only year in which they did drop 2 things from the same saga would have been the Gogeta Blue and Broly. Zenkai Gogeta Blue, by the way, we've been waiting. But besides from that, they generally try to mix it up. So the likeliness of us getting a fusing Goku Black and Zamasu into Fusion Zamasu alongside, so it would be and a Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegito Blue, I would say is pretty low, but I'm not writing it off. Alright, it's time to get into the probability, the percentages. So 100% would be this unit is 100% likely to drop. So we're going to be discussing here a Synchro Vegito Blue. How likely are we to get a Synchro Vegito Blue? It's something we should consider, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I don't want to discuss it, because I've been praying they do not drop a Vegito Blue. I'm praying it, and for you guys know, he's my favorite unit, but I just can't have him drop right now. I can't have that. But how likely are we to get a Synchro Vegito Blue? Looking at it with the blue and the purple, it's looking pretty high at this point, and I hate to say it. It's not the most likely thing to come out of future, but it's looking pretty high. If we follow the scheme of the 6th anniversary, you know, they dropped 2 synchro units, and everybody said before the 6th anniversary, like, not even everybody said it, it's just the simple fact that we all deem it impossible, you know. We all write it off as impossible. Why would they drop 2 synchro units? It just don't make sense. But they did it. But cool. I'm gonna give this a calm 45%. You know, I don't think it's impossible, and that's still pretty high. It's higher than it should be, I'll tell you that for real. 45% it's not higher than 50%, so it's less than a coin toss. But he could easily be a unit that comes alongside Fusion Zamasu. That's what I'm seeing. He's not going to be like one side and then the other side's a completely different arc, saga, and he's just the main one from future. I do not see them doing that. I see that as like damn near impossible. But if he would drop alongside Fusion Zamasu, it would be like 45%. Like, let's say we get into the reveals and the first character they show is Fusion Zamasu. I'm going to be feeling really uneasy because I think it's actually going to happen, that he has a 45% chance of happening. It might even go up to 60% after I see Fusion Zamasu if they do it in that order. Because boy, the way they did us in the 6th anniversary, dropping Vegito, then cool, we thought it was done. They're going to give us something else, whatever. But then they dropped Gogeta Blue, nuts. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at 45%. Could be higher. I am scared about it, but for now, we chilling. Okay, so we got the most likely version here. We're going to start talking about a Legends Limited Fusion Zamasu. How likely are we to get a Legends Limited Fusion Zamasu? Obviously, I'm sure everybody watching the video right now, everybody in the Legends community think this is the most likely drop. If they're going to drop anything future related, they're going to drop a Fusion Zamasu. The Fusion Zamasu guys have been begging and praying for this guy to drop. And honestly, they wanted an Ultra at first. I don't know what they were cooking, thinking that they were going to get a Fusion Zamasu in the anniversary, the 5th anniversary over Vegito Blue. Must have been smoking crack. In hindsight, it looks so much worse. But even prior to the fact, it was very, very obvious they would not drop a Fusion Zamasu, especially alone. But here, we've got very likeliness of a Legends Limited, right? I think this is very high. Very high. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna put this at a good 90%. I think this is like neck and neck with MUI Goku. If they were going to drop something for the festival, low-key spoiler, but how I'm feeling right now, 90% chance for a Legends Limited Fusion Zamasu for the first part, and then going in on the other side, MUI Goku. That's what I'm seeing. That's the vision I'm seeing. They get 2 arcs out of it, you know. They drop a little antagonist and a hero, calm. And they get a bunch of buffs out. And they also specify God Key with this, you know. God Key with Fusion Zamasu and also MUI Goku with buff God Key. It's given that we did get God Goku, but he was ass. Traumatic. Gogeta Blue, but he was okay. You know, it's not an easy playing field for the God Key guys. So this would be a good drop alongside MUI Goku. I'm gonna give this a strong 90%. I already said 90% before, but I'm stamping this into the ground. If anything future drops, I'm sure everybody's in agreement it's going to be a Fusion Zamasu. If it's corrupted Zamasu, same thing, but we already have that, you know? Fusion Zamasu for sure the pick. How they go about the kit, I'm not going to micromanage, but I think it's very likely we get Fusion Zamasu. For the sake of the conversation, we got to discuss whether we're going to get an Ultra Fusion Zamasu as well. So obviously, I won't be discussing whether we're going to get a Ultra Vegito Blue because we already have that. Whether we have a Legend Limited Vegito Blue would only be the case. They're not going to drop another Ultra Vegito Blue. It'd have to be a Fusion Zamasu, right? So, how likely is it that we get an Ultra Fusion Zamasu? In this case, I just brought up the corrupted one for image, but it could be regular Fusion Zamasu. It's just Fusion Zamasu, you know. Half corrupted is just extra version. As an Ultra, I don't see it. I do not see it, especially because we're getting these hints prior to the anniversary. I think they're obviously going to just tie into the first part. I mean, prior to the festival. I think they're just going to tie into the first part of the festival, and that would make the most sense. Easily, I'd give it a pretty low number. In fact, 20%. Fusion Zamasu as Ultra is not happening. I have no faith in that happening. They're just going to drop Fusion for the part 1, and then probably GT for the part 3 is what I'm seeing. But of course, it's not impossible either way. The fact that it still has a 20% chance means it's possible. I just don't think it's as likely as some people might make it out to be. So I'm going against this Ultra dropping Fusion Zamasu or Corrupted Zamasu. 20%, I think it's even high of a number. I should probably go lower, but you know, with the future speculation and the Red Zenkai, the Red Zamasu Zenkai, hey man, they got me thinking. But cool, I'm gonna leave it at 20%. There's not much more to say. I don't really have anything pushing towards it. We have Goku Black Rose. They could just give him a one of those platinum equipments and we'd be good. We'd be good straight away. Like that's all it needs. That's all it needs. Now I feel like this is something a lot of people have writ off like completely. For us to get a Trunks of some sort. Now I do know we already have a Legends Limited Sword of Whole Trunks, but Trunks Rage is a really nice transformation, you know. I could easily see this being the case as well, and they could make him a Legends Limited. How they would go about it, I don't know. But I do see it being a possibility. The hints don't really tie in. The only reason I could push towards this is to say that they've dropped a bunch of hybrid Saiyans that are actually good this year. They dropped Gotenks recently, Ultimate Gohan smashing, Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan insane. So it's not like they've just been sleeping on hybrid Saiyans. They've been dropping them here and there, sprinkle. If they was to drop a Trunks Rage that adds to that, they've also been dropping some Vegeta Clan units which adds to that too. There is reasons to drop a Trunks Rage on top of the fact that we're headlining Future here. So if I was to go for a Trunks, I'm not going to specifically say Trunks Rage. I hope they don't go a Sword of Hope Trunks route again because we already have that. I would say as a percentage, I don't think it's high either, but I don't think it's impossible. And I also think it's higher than the Ultra Fusion Zamasu though. I'm going to give it a cool 30%. You know, I don't think it's very high. I don't think it's low as Ultra Fusion Zamasu though. So 30% is a good number. Nobody's really pushing towards this, and a lot of people I'm sure thinking they do not think it's hype enough. But I just want to point out to you that we do have Trunks and Trunks and Vegeta. So Trunks and Vegeta have been a festival unit, and we've also had Sword of Hope Trunks on his own. So Trunks is very festival worthy before you write him off. Whether you think he's hype or not, that's a different discussion. But whether he's worthy for the festival, objectively he is. I'm a Trunks fan. Would I want him for the festival? Not necessarily, but if they did drop him for the festival, I see the vision because the future arc's pulling. It's pulling, man. Alright, so here we have Sword of Hope Trunks as an Ultra. I have a very low probability. I'm not even going to speak about this for long. My answer is 10%. This guy should not drop as an Ultra. Just want to put it out there. I don't even need to speak on this. I do feel that he could be the blue they're referring for, because everybody assumed, okay, cool, Vegito blue, and then the purple Zamasu. That makes so much sense. But obviously, when this guy did the spirit sword, whatever you want to call it, that thing was blue as hell. That thing was blue as hell. So I also see this being a possibility, but obviously the hints are more so pushing towards the first part. I think everybody's under that understanding. So yeah, that's why it's at 10%. They're not gonna start with Ultra as well. The hints are obviously for the first part. So let's just shut this down 10% quick. This is going to be the last one for the video, and we've got a Vegito blue, but this is very specific, right? I think if they were to drop a Vegito blue, instead of just doing the Synchro, because I feel like the Synchro is just like, I don't know, we already got two. They shouldn't just copy the format of the 6th anniversary. And I think in the festival, it's very likely we get a new mechanic. They do this like revival or 2-life thing. So we've already got revival, right, where you die, you get a new kit when you revive. We've got comeback, but you don't get a new kit when you come back to life. They could add a third one where it's like a timed transformation or a timed thing. We know Vegito blue, when they were fighting, they obviously defused. They never got to finish the job because they were too powerful for the Pataras. So in this case, you start the battle as Vegito blue, and if you get taken out, then you obviously go into Sword of Hope Trunks. So it's like a safety measure, right? But it's like revival, but you're not guaranteed to use the revival. If you fight, let's say, Vegito Blue's fusion, they last for 80 timer counts. Let's say for 80 timer counts, they're Vegito Blue, right? After the 80 timer counts, they defuse, and then you start fighting as Sword of Hope Trunks. That would be cool. But at the same time, if you get beaten, so if Vegito Blue dies before the first 80 timer counts, they could actually just, you know, that was in my mind for a long time, because they usually make units kits based on what happened in the anime, but Vegito Blue just be breaking the game every single time. This is a way to kind of nerf him, but it also is beneficial and fitting of what the meta provides currently with the survivability. So mainly I'm just referring to somewhat of a revival unit with Vegito Blue going into Sword of Hope Trunks, and also with the fact that I played Sparking Zero recently, it's kind of how I got the inspiration for that idea. Anyways, how likely do I think this is? It kind of goes along with the regular idea that it would be like Fusion Zamasu and Vegito Blue. So the same percentage, to be honest, that I gave the Vegito Blue Synchro, I think it would be the exact same thing. If they involve Vegito Blue sometime, it will be the exact same percentage. I forgot the number I gave, and I don't want to give a whack number. I didn't write these down beforehand. I just kind of thought them out one by one. So whatever number I gave for Vegito Blue Synchro, pretty much the same exact percentage for this idea here. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Obviously, like in the other videos, I put all of the pieces together so that you guys could easily have all the reasons as to why Future could definitely get some buffs this festival. Before this time or this period, a lot of people were saying that, including me, the Future tag would only get buffs in 2025, similar to how GT didn't get any buffs in 2023 and then they're getting all these buffs in 2024. They would do that similar pattern in the same way that Universe Rep got all the buffs in 2023. They haven't got any buffs this year, but it looks like Future's going to be getting something. But at the end of the day, we'll have to see. Smash that like button. We got a like goal to hit, but if you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.